Hello everyone, it's Lydia and I have a project share today. So I created some really cute 3x3 note cards and I altered some dominoes. So for my 3x3 card, for my base I used red cardstock. I used some vintage music sheet paper, this cute little stamp. Looks like a peacock. This one is by Hero Arts, perfect size for a 3x3. I used this embossing folder that I received from Tina Kappa. It's a Cuttlebug little border embossing folder. Super cute, thank you, Tina. And I also used some ink by Martha Stewart. I went with the leaf bud color. So let me show you my card. It turned out super cute. And I just added the music note paper and used my distress tool to distress the papers around the edges. I did the embossing up on top and then I lightly rubbed the ink by Martha Stewart. Stamped my little bird, used the red rick rack that I received in a rack from Letty, Crafty Girl 101, thank you Letty. Added some dainty trim. These are those tiny Got Prima flowers. I added a little heart-shaped bling and some leaf punch outs by Martha Stewart. Thank you, Karen, I love that punch. And then the inside is blank. And I made a total of 6. I really love this little heart-shaped bead. I don't even know where I got it, but it's so cute. So I either added a little, heart-shaped bead or a little bling on each one. And then for the envelopes, I just created some envelopes and then I stamped this really cute Prima flower stamp on the edge. So those are my cards. And then for my dominoes, I made one vintage and one shabby chic, which are the styles that I love to create in. So here's my vintage one, and the image is Kaiser Craft Sweet Nothings, the sweet little angel, Cupid, and I used some vintage photo around the edges, added my glossy accents, and then before it dried, it sprinkled some gold glitter, some fine glitter. There you can see it. I alcohol inked the edges of the domino, but then I wound up covering it with this gold trim. So that turned out really cute. And then this is a no drill domino. So I just grabbed a piece of wire that was that was pliable. I bent it and I got my little circle there in the center. And then I added this pretty little bauble with the gold dome. And then I added this beautiful trim. I just hot glued it. And then I added this to cover up the uglies, this pretty gold trim. So that's my vintage one. And then for the shabby chic one, I used Louisa's no drill method using this little eye pin. I think that's what they're called. It has the little circle there for you to dangle your charms. And you just attach it and hot glue it. You cut it down to where it's shorter and then you hot glue it. And then you could add your charms. Again, the image is by Kaiser Craft. And I added my glitter before it dried. And I also did some gesso here and there. Added this pretty dainty white crochet trim all the way around. And then I have my eye pin back here. I added some blue wrinkled seam binding. And then I added, I'm not really good at making these beads, but I'm getting there. I think I did a decent job. And these beads and bead caps I received from Laura. Laura loves lace. So I just created some bead dangles here and added a pretty little leaf and added some gesso. And then the holder here is just a piece of ribbon. It's gingham, pink gingham ribbon. And then on the back, to cover all the glue, I added this burlap that I received from Karen. Thank you, Karen. JB Lady Scrapper 48. And I just dabbed on some gesso on that. So that is my project share for today, ladies. Thanks for watching, everyone. Post a comment if you wish and subscribe. Have a fabulous day. Bye.